Hello, I'm Chef Koetke, Dean of the Sun Valley Culinary Institute, and I'm coming to you today from my kitchen with a recipe I learned when I lived in Switzerland as a teenager, and it is something I've always loved. It's a tomato Camembert quiche. The first thing we need to do, of course, is make the dough for the quiche, which is called a butter pie dough. I've got 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to put just 1/4 teaspoon of salt into the flour. And then in goes 1 stick of butter. And this butter is actually cut up in little cubes and quite cold because I want to actually keep little pieces of the butter in the dough. And so I'm going to mix the dough and sort of smash the butter between my fingers and make like little leaves of butter. Okay, the butter is almost completely mixed in, but not totally. Next, I'm going to put in 2 egg yolks mixed with 6 tablespoons of ice cold water. And at this point, I want to kind of mix this as quickly as I can, but rather gently so that I don't overmix the dough. If you overmix it, it'll become elastic, and we don't want that in a pie dough. And now that it's mixed up, I'm just gonna take it out of the bowl for a moment, give it a couple little mixes on the countertop, just like that. And at this point, it needs to go into the refrigerator, wrapped in plastic wrap. Give it at least an hour to cool off and relax. Now that our dough has had a chance to relax in the refrigerator, I'm going to put some flour on the countertop and I'm going to roll out this pie dough. One of the little tricks here is that you want to kind of roll it from the center outwards, and that keeps it from getting overly elastic. What's important with this is that you roll this as thin as you can. After I roll it out, I just loosen it up with a spatula. Then I take my rolling pin, I roll the dough back on the rolling pin, and then very simply just unroll it right over the pie tin. Make sure that I push the dough all the way down inside of the pie tin, and then take a pair of scissors. I'm going to trim the outside of the pie tin. And there's a reason for this, because what I want to do is then take the dough and sort of stand it up on the side of the pie tin, just like this. You kind of roll it on the edge. Now that our pie tin is lined with the dough, the next thing is to make the filling for it. And it's really pretty easy to do. I'm going to start here with 5 eggs, mix those up a little bit, and then into that I'm going to put some sautéed caramelized onions. I started with about 1/2 cup of those nicely minced up, put those in, along with 1 cup of whole milk. Stir that up nicely. And let's put some seasonings in there, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, along with 1/2 teaspoon of herb de Provence and about 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper. I'm going to stir that up a little bit more, set that off to the side. The next thing is our camembert. I'm going to take the camembert and just sort of cut the wheel up into big chunks, if you will, like so. And then take the chunks, put them into our prepared pie dough. And the next ingredient is about 4 ounces of chopped up smoked ham. Spread that all over the top. And then in goes our egg mixture. And basically a quiche is really nothing more than a custard baked in a pie shell with a bunch of other ingredients. Now the last ingredient is a whole bunch of sliced up tomatoes, and you'll see I pressed them between paper towels, and that's kind of important because I want to sort of press out as much moisture as possible. Then what I'm going to do is take these and just line them across the top of our quiche, and at that point our quiche is ready to go in the oven, 350 degrees, and it takes a good hour to cook. The trick to cooking a quiche is you cook it just until the center wiggles a tiny bit so you don't overcook it. Take it out of the oven, Let it cool off. Never serve it too hot, maybe just warm. At that point, cut it into nice little wedges, serve it maybe with a little salad. It makes a perfect lunch, perfect brunch, even a great dinner. And I hope you enjoy what I learned to make when I was just a kid in Switzerland.